She received the George Cross. She would never accept any recognition for her special contribution without reminding us.
Something unexpected happened at this year's Trooping the Color. In front of the world, Princess Anne made a move that no one saw coming. She publicly honored Catherine, Princess of Wales, with a powerful new title, Marshal of the Monarch's Honor. It wasn't just a gesture, it was a statement, a rare and shocking change in royal protocol that placed Catherine at the heart of the monarchy's future. Why did Princess Anne make this decision? And what does this mean for Queen Camilla's role? Join us as we uncover the story of this astonishing change in royal power. A royal event with hidden signals. Every June, the streets of London come alive with the sound of marching boots, shining medals, and the beat of drums and trumpets. This is a tradition that goes back more than 200 years. It's called Trooping the Colour, and it's held every year to officially celebrate the British monarch's birthday. In 2025, the celebration was for King Charles III, and while people came out to cheer and enjoy the day, most of them didn't expect the event to carry a deeper message, because behind all the marching and military display, there was something else happening. Something quiet, but important. A shift in power was taking place within the royal family, and it was happening right before everyone's eyes. This year's parade wasn't just a routine celebration. It was a full royal display filled with meaning and tradition. There were 1,400 soldiers, 200 horses, and close to 400 musicians, all moving with perfect timing. Leading the way were the Coldstream Guards, who are one of the oldest regiments in the British Army. They proudly carried the King's colour, which is a special flag that holds a lot of history. And since this year marked their 375th anniversary, their role in the ceremony felt even more important. Keep watching to find out more, because what seemed like a regular royal event on the surface turned out to mean a lot more behind the scenes. At the center of the celebration was King Charles III, but for the first time as king, he didn't ride on horseback. Instead, he rode in a carriage because he is still receiving treatment for cancer. And while this may have looked like a small change, it quietly pointed to something more serious. It showed that the king's health is starting to influence how things are done within the monarchy. And as Charles stepped back a little, it gave other royals the chance to step forward. Prince William, Princess Anne, and Prince Edward all rode on horseback, dressed in their full military uniforms. They were there to show their roles in the regiments and to carry out their royal duties. But the royal who truly captured everyone's attention was Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Catherine did not ride a horse either. She arrived in a carriage along with her 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Her appearance was very emotional for many. Late last year, she had taken a break from royal duties because she revealed she had been diagnosed with cancer. So people had been waiting and wondering when they might see her again. And when she finally showed up at this important royal event, people saw more than just a royal figure. They saw a woman who had faced something deeply personal and came back with strength. Throughout the event, Catherine looked calm and elegant. She smiled and waved to the cheering crowd, and her children sat beside her behaving perfectly. And while most people were focused on how composed she looked and how lovely her family seemed, something unexpected was about to steal the spotlight completely. As the parade continued, there was a brief moment that reminded everyone why Princess Anne is seen as one of the royal family's most reliable members. Her horse Noble suddenly grew restless because of the noise and excitement. But Anne, who has spent her whole life around horses, stayed calm and in control. She settled the horse without any sign of panic. People watching at home and online praised her for it, saying it showed just how steady and committed she is. But Princess Anne still had more to give that day. When the procession paused to observe a moment of silence for the victims of a recent Air India plane crash, Anne took a step forward. And right there, during that pause, she made an announcement that caught everyone off guard. She said, "I am honored to appoint Catherine, Princess of Wales, as Marshal of the Monarch's Honor to represent the Crown in ceremonial salutes to our regiments." Her voice was soft, respectful, and clear, but the meaning behind her words was powerful and immediate. This was not just about giving Catherine a new title. It was a public show of support. It was a powerful and symbolic gesture from Princess Anne, who is one of the most respected members of the royal family, to Catherine, the future Queen Consort. And since this announcement came during such a formal national event, it sent a strong signal to everyone watching. Catherine was not just returning to her role, she was stepping into something greater. The title, Marshal of the Monarch's Honor, had never been used before. It was brand new, and it combined a sense of royal tradition with a modern idea of duty. And it didn't come from King Charles or from the official press team. It came straight from Anne. Many royal watchers saw it as a very deliberate move. It seemed to highlight Catherine's growing importance in the royal family, while also helping to lighten the king's load as he focuses on his health. But even after all that, a bigger question still remained. Was this new title just a kind and ceremonial gesture, or was it part of a bigger plan to slowly move more responsibility and attention toward Catherine? Why did Princess Anne make the announcement instead of King Charles? And what exactly does it mean to be named the Marshal of the Monarch's Honor? Stay tuned as we delve into this. The meaning behind the Marshal title. The title of Marshal of the Monarch's Honor might sound ceremonial at first, but it carries a deeper meaning that goes far beyond tradition. It is not just a title given for the sake of pageantry, because it actually marks a thoughtful and strategic decision that blends the old ways of the monarchy with the needs of today. And while many royal roles in the past have either been inherited through generations or quietly handed out behind the scenes, this one was different, because it happened out in the open. It was announced publicly, and it came from someone who holds deep respect across all levels of the royal institution, and that alone made it stand out. This wasn't something done behind palace walls or leaked through press briefings. It was done right in front of the world. And it wasn't a routine announcement either. It felt more like a quiet but powerful statement. The way it was presented during such an important moment in a national event added even more weight to it. The title itself is something brand new, created specifically in 2025, and that already shows that the monarchy is willing to evolve. And while the royal family is often known for sticking to tradition, this move proved that they are also thinking about how to stay relevant for future generations. However, now that Catherine has been named Marshal of the Monarch's Honor, her new responsibility includes representing King Charles III during ceremonial salutes to the regiments of the Household Division. And this is not a casual duty, because it is rooted in military tradition and royal symbolism. It also builds on what she was already doing, especially in her role as Colonel of the Irish Guards. So now, this new title doesn't just give her a new task, but it brings her even closer to the heart of royal events. People close to the royal family have said that the idea of creating this title came from Princess Anne herself. And this makes sense, since Anne is well known for her wise decisions and strong dedication to her royal duties. She has always been seen as someone who understands what the crown needs, both publicly and privately. And when it came to choosing the right person to carry this honor, Anne reportedly believed that Catherine's calm nature, loyalty, and inner strength made her the perfect choice. And this was never just about appearances or gestures. It was about clearly showing that Catherine is going to play a much larger role in the monarchy's future, and that future might be arriving sooner than many expected. Furthermore, Catherine's return to the spotlight, after taking time off to focus on her health and undergo cancer treatment, was not just seen as a comeback. It felt like a new beginning. She looked healthy, graceful, and fully prepared to carry out her duties. And her presence at Trooping the Color was not only comforting to the public, but it also said something loud and clear. It showed that she was ready, And the timing of the title announcement made that message even stronger. But even though it was a moment of unity and celebration, not everyone appeared to have been informed ahead of time. Reports started coming out that Queen Camilla may not have been consulted about the appointment. And during the event, some observers felt that she looked slightly left out, which was surprising considering her usual closeness to King Charles. The fact that the announcement came from Anne and not from Charles or Camilla led to even more questions. Some people wondered whether there might have been some quiet disagreements behind the scenes, or if this was part of a bigger change in royal priorities. However, regardless of what might have been discussed privately, what the public saw was very clear. And when Catherine gave her formal salute to the Coldstream Guards at the height of the parade, it didn't just look like protocol. It looked meaningful. Many commentators described the moment as a powerful gesture, calling it a clear sign of her new position. Some said it showed dignity, others called it a true transformation. Either way, many agreed it marked something important in her journey as a royal figure. And that message didn't stop once the parade ended, because later, when the royal family appeared on the Buckingham Palace balcony for the Royal Air Force flypast, Catherine's placement spoke volumes. She stood front and center, with her children beside her, and she looked confident. Her position was not just about standing in a certain spot, because it was about what she symbolized. And that moment confirmed that her public role is growing stronger. So now, what everyone's wondering is, what does this all mean going forward? One possibility is that Princess Anne is making a clear effort to support the younger royals. By giving Catherine this title and responsibility, it shows a vote of confidence in the next generation. And it might also mean that Anne sees qualities in Catherine that are perfect for the modern royal world. Her calm presence, steady work ethic, and ability to earn the public's trust are all things the monarchy could use more of. Catherine's journey over the past year has only strengthened her public image. She managed her illness quietly, protected her family's privacy.
And at the time, it was thought that my condition was non-cancerous. The surgery was successful.
And returned to the spotlight with grace. All of that has made people admire her even more. And now that she has been given a new title, it's no longer just about being Prince William's wife. It's about her becoming a leading figure in her own right. And according to experts who follow the royal family closely, this may only be the beginning. They believe that Catherine will likely take on even more duties, especially at formal events and ceremonies where she can bring a calm and steady presence. And with King Charles continuing to receive treatment and possibly stepping back from some appearances, many expect that the Wales family will quietly begin to take on more of the spotlight. This also includes the children. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis were all present at Trooping the Color, and they did more than just smile and wave. They were watching, learning, and taking in everything. And even though they are still very young, it's becoming clear that they are slowly being introduced to public life. And the more they appear with their parents, the more comfortable people become with the idea of them being future leaders. At the same time, some have pointed out how Queen Camilla's role seemed quieter during the event. Her position wasn't as visible, and that has led to growing questions about how much influence she will have moving forward. And some insiders have quietly suggested that Anne's decision to highlight Catherine, without including Camilla, may not have been accidental. It might have been a carefully planned move to change the public focus toward the Wales family. In the end, this event marked a big shift. For many years, the royal family has leaned on tradition, order, and carefully controlled appearances to keep things running smoothly. But now, we are starting to see a different approach. The monarchy is slowly changing. It's becoming more flexible, more open to updates, and more focused on staying relevant. And leading that change are Catherine and William. They are not only fulfilling their roles today, but they are also shaping what the future of the monarchy will look like. The creation of this new title, Marshal of the Monarch's Honor, is one of the clearest signs of the change in monarchy's traditions.
To reshape and project the monarchy into the future.
Because it is not just a nice-sounding name. It is a statement that brings together military tradition, royal ceremony, and public trust. And it shows both Catherine's growing influence and Anne's smart way of helping guide the royal family forward. And most importantly, one that signals the beginning of a new royal chapter. But here's the most astonishing part. Stay tuned. Princess Anne's quiet power in the monarchy. This is not the first time Princess Anne has stepped forward to make a quiet and powerful impact within the royal family. And her recent appointment of Catherine as Marshal of the Monarch's honor, whether many sees it as symbolic or ceremonial, is just another example of how she has always held strong influence in the monarchy's decision behind the scenes. For many years, Princess Anne has supported the monarchy in ways that don't always make the headlines, yet they continue to shape the institution. She is not the kind of royal who seeks drama or invites controversy, because she has always stood as a symbol of loyalty, consistency, and strong personal authority. Princess Anne has always been seen as one of the hardest-working members of the royal family, and in many years, she is at the very top when royal watchers and media track how many engagements each royal performs. While younger royals often get more media attention, it is Anne who keeps showing up for hundreds of official duties, charity events, ceremonies, and visits. And this has become her well-known identity. Her work ethic speaks volumes and shows that she believes being royal is not about glamour or special treatment, it is about duty and service. Back in the 1990s, the royal family went through some very difficult times. There were divorces between King Charles and Princess Diana, as well as Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. Then came the tragic death of Princess Diana, followed by constant media pressure that seemed to shake the royal family's image. And while all of that unfolded in public, Princess Anne stayed calm and focused. She never added to the gossip, and she never made her personal issues a media story. Even when she divorced Captain Mark Phillips in 1992, she kept it quiet and respectful. And her marriage to Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence has remained one of the most steady and private relationships among the royals. People began to respect her even more for how she handled herself. She was not trying to win over the public with big speeches or emotional interviews.
And for their contribution in terms of broadening what we hope was a general interest to you, but also your response to that.
She simply kept doing her job. And in a time when the royal family was facing crisis after crisis, that steady presence gave people a sense of comfort. While others in the family were dealing with public challenges, Princess Anne kept the work moving forward. Even though she doesn't speak often about policies or future plans, her choices clearly reflect her views about how the monarchy should operate. One example is her opinion on the idea of a smaller royal team, sometimes called the slimmed-down monarchy. King Charles supported the idea of having fewer senior working royals, but Anne gently expressed doubts about that. She believes that if there are not enough royals doing the public work, important duties and appearances might get overlooked. She didn't speak out strongly against Charles, and she probably never would. But the way she continues to take on a heavy schedule shows that she believes in being present and visible. She has supported many charities, military groups, and organizations, and she makes time for all of them. Through her actions, she shows that the monarchy stays strong when its members stay active. However, one of her biggest decisions in her personal life may also be one of her most meaningful. She chose not to give royal titles to her children, Peter Phillips and Zara Tindall. And at the time, people were surprised. After all, as the daughter of the Queen, she could have given them titles. But Anne wanted her children to have more freedom. She hoped they could live normal lives without the constant pressure that comes with having a royal title. Today, both Peter and Zara have careers outside of the royal bubble, and they live relatively private lives. Looking back, many now see Anne's decision as wise and ahead of its time. And even though she did not give titles to her children, Princess Anne has never stepped away from her own responsibilities. She holds many honorary military roles across all three branches of the British Armed Forces. She attends military parades, inspects regiments, supports veterans, and understands the details of her roles. She shows up with knowledge, not just ceremony. Whether it is a funeral, a coronation, or a formal military visit, she approaches it with discipline and care. And when her mother, Queen Elizabeth II, died, Princess Anne was the one who accompanied the Queen's coffin.
A few moments ago, Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
From Balmoral to Windsor. No other royal did that. It was not only a personal moment for her as a daughter, but also a public one, showing her duty as a senior royal. It said a lot about the trust placed in her. And during King Charles' coronation, she was named Gold Stick-in-Waiting, a historic role that means being personally responsible for the monarch's protection. It was more than a title. It was a symbol of the king's deep trust in her. In both behind-the-scenes planning and public ceremonies, Princess Anne plays a central role. Furthermore, there is also something special about the connection between Princess Anne and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Even though they are from different generations, they have a lot in common. Both are calm when facing pressure, both are serious about their duties, and neither one looks for fame. They don't chase headlines, but they often receive praise for how strong and graceful they are. Reports say that Anne has admired Catherine for a long time.
Then, Kate paced herself a step or two behind, allowing Anne to be the first to greet their host.
Especially for staying focused during times when the media tried to drag her into royal drama. Both women have also faced difficult personal times. Catherine's openness about her health has been met with public sympathy.
In January, I underwent major abdominal surgery in London. However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present.
While Anne has always managed to handle personal matters with privacy and strength. So, when Anne gave Catherine a new ceremonial role, it made perfect sense to those who know how the royals operate. It felt like a moment of respect and trust being shared. But this wasn't only about giving Catherine a role, it was about something deeper. It was Anne's way of showing who she believes is ready for more. It was a way to guide the public and the palace toward the future. It was her sign that Catherine has what it takes to carry more weight in the royal family. People who follow royal life closely know that this wasn't a sudden or random choice. It fits a pattern. Anne always makes thoughtful decisions. She doesn't act out of pride, and she doesn't chase attention. She makes moves that reflect history, responsibility, and trust. Giving Catherine this moment at Trooping the Colour didn't come with press briefings or major announcements. And in the royal world, a public gesture like that can mean much more than words. So as we think about what Princess Anne means to the royal family, we can see that she is more than just the sister of the king. She is a core figure. Her reputation comes not from making headlines, but from standing strong through history. She doesn't just speak about values, she lives them. And in a royal family where tradition is everything, Anne is the one person who has always stayed steady. She hasn't shaped the next generation by standing in front of them, but by standing firm beside them. She has kept her rhythm of duty, even when others struggled. And now, by recognizing Catherine's strength and offering her a new role, Anne is helping shape the future. So while some people focus on gossip or titles, what stands out most is Princess Anne's loyalty, her sharp judgment, and her quiet leadership that continue to keep the royal family moving forward. And with Catherine now stepping into a new chapter under Anne's watchful guidance, it has become clear that the torch has not just been passed. It has been placed carefully by the one royal who has truly earned the right to choose who carries it next. So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think Princess Anne's quiet leadership has shaped the future of the monarchy more than people realize? And if Princess Anne were ever given more formal power, how different do you think the royal family would look today? Drop it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.